Welcome back. All right, busy Thursday night in the National Hockey League. 9 games in total. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. This is a Chicago Cougars jersey from the WHA. So I figured I'd throw this on. Second WHA jersey I've worn in a week on one of these videos. All right, starting off with Boston and Dallas. And this is a matchup that I always enjoy. Tonight was a little bit anticlimactic because it was obvious at certain points of this game that Dallas was just the better team. So it's DeSmith versus Swayman in this one. Geeky's denied. The Stars clear. That was the only shot that Boston had early. The shots are 3-1 for Dallas 5 minutes in. We get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. Geeky's denied right after it ends. We then get a power play for Dallas. That becomes 4-on-4. And during the 4-on-4, Pastrnak scores from Poitras at 11:57. It's from a net front on a turnover that Poitras forced. So 1-0 Boston. Boston goes back to the power play. That becomes 4-on-4 as well. There's a shorthanded chance for Johnston. That's denied. Everything's killed off there. And then at 16:20, Duchesne goes blocker side on the rush to make it 1-1. Sagan and Harley with the assists. Stars then look for the lead. Frederick has a chance. He can't bury one in close. It's 1-1 after the first. Second period, there's an early power play for the Stars, and they score on it. Robertson from Ben and Haskin in at 31 seconds gives Dallas a 2-1 lead, and it's a tic-tac-toe play, and it's buried from the slot. Stars look for another. The shots are 3-0 in their favor 3 minutes in. Eventually, the Stars draw another power play, and they score on that one as well. Stankoven from Duchesne and Marchment at 4:57, and then the Stars draw another power play. And at 8:59, Sagan scores from Marchment and Duchesne. So that's 4 goals in a row for Dallas. Bruins get a power play. There's a shorthanded rush chance by Johnston. He fires one wide. And then during that power play, Boston scores at 10:41. Brazeau buries one in close. Frederick and Geeky with the assists. So that makes it 4-2 in favor of Dallas. Blackwell couldn't bury one in close. The teams trade rushes. The Stars press with 2.5 minutes left. They have more pressure to close it out. And again, they're up 4-2 after 2. Third period, there's an early press by the Bruins. We get a power play for Dallas. There's a near miss for Thomas Harley. That's killed off. The fans call one. The referee does not. The shots are 5-1 for Boston at the half. Marchand fires one wide. As the Bruins get some pressure, the goalie pull happens with 4 minutes left, and Dallas eventually hits the empty net. It's rope hints from Sagan at 17:58. So Tyler Sagan, who formerly, of course, played for the Boston Bruins, comes out of this one with 3 points. Dallas wins 5-2. They go to 6-2 on the season. Boston is now below 500. 3 wins in their first 8 for a record of 3-4-1. Shots on net, 13-11 Dallas in the first, 12-6 Dallas in the second, 10-7 Boston in the third. Final shots 32-27 for Dallas. Power plays, the Stars 3 for 5, Boston 1 for 4. The hits 29-18 Boston. DeSmith saves 25 out of 27. Swayman 27 saves on 31 shots. So DeSmith has had excellent numbers since arriving in Dallas. Swayman, not really his fault. This was just Dallas being the better team tonight. All right, next up, St. Louis and Toronto. Let that pendulum swing in Toronto, I guess. Not too many days ago, they came out of that game against Tampa. They looked great, and things have changed. Binnington versus Wall in this one. The Leafs press at 2.5 minutes, but they don't get shots on net. The shots are 2-0 in favor of St. Louis at 3.5 minutes, and at 4:07, Broberg opens the scoring for St. Louis. Kyrou and Buchnevich with the assists. The Leafs then draw a power play. That's killed off. Blues then get their turn. The Leafs prevent an early setup, but they would end up getting a goal. Holloway scores his second of the season from Saad and Sundqvist at 10:31. So those are both players who got offer sheeted during the summer. And there you go. That's why St. Louis offer sheets them. Leafs go back to the power play. That's killed off. It's 2-0 St. Louis after the first. Second period. Blues had the only shot on net 4 minutes in. We then get a press by St. Louis at 4.5 minutes. The Leafs press at 6 minutes, and on a tic-tac-toe play, they get on the board. Ekman-Larsson scores from Riley and Tavares at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. McCabe then has a net drive chance. That's held. The Leafs press are kept to the outside. Domi has a rush chance. That's held. And then on a good forecheck, St. Louis gets the 2-goal lead back. It's Texier from the right circle, Kyrou and Buchnevich with the assists at 7:58. So St. Louis works their way into a 2-goal lead again. Things then get pushy on a hold by Wall. Marner has a 2-on-1 chance. That's defended. We then had a shoulder save on a McMahon rush. The Leafs get a power play with 3:09 left. St. Louis kills that off. They only allow the one shot for Toronto. McCabe's then denied on a rush, but it's 3-1 St. Louis after 2 periods of play. In the third, the Leafs press at 2 minutes, but St. Louis would score again. Jake Neighbors with his third of the season. He scores from Shen at 3:45. Things get punchy on a hold by Binnington, so we have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 there. The Leafs press at 6 minutes. The shots are 7-4 Toronto 8 minutes into the period. And the Leafs are controlling the game at this point. They just can't solve Binnington. So, frustrating period for them. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. Texier has a rush chance. That's saved. Eventually, Toronto pulls the goalie. They're down by 3. And at 16:42, Holloway makes sure they don't have a comeback chance. He scores from Falk. And so the St. Louis Blues beat their former coach 5-1. They go to 5-3 on the season. Toronto drops to 4-4. And it feels like early in every season, Toronto is around 500. Shots on net, 10-9 Toronto in the first, 17-10 Toronto in the second, 14-8 Toronto in the third. They outshoot St. Louis 41-27. Power plays, St. Louis 1-2, Toronto 0-4. The hits, 24-21 for St. Louis. Binnington saves 40 out of 41. Woll saves 22 out of 26. I'm just realizing, too, I didn't need any 80s magnets tonight. I didn't need any of there's no Shock Llama tonight. It's just the regular NHL logos at the top. So nothing really overly fun in tonight's games other than, all the goals and highlights and all that. All right, next up, New Jersey and Detroit. So Jersey fans took issue with me putting them in the panic section of the panic index. This is why I put them in the panic section of the panic index, because a lot of the errors they made last season have started to show up this season. That has to be troubling. The goaltending numbers haven't quite been as strong as you'd want them to be either. And it's Markstrom versus Talbot in this one. Meyer gets shaken up early. Pretty sure he stayed in the game, though. I'm pretty sure I saw him throughout the game. Devils press are kept to the outside. The Wings press at 5.5 minutes. The shots are 2 apiece, 6 minutes into the first period. Strong forechecking by the Devils. They end up drawing a power play, and they score on it. It's Hischier burying one from the net front. Bratt with the assist at 12 minutes and 11 seconds. So the Devils get that all-important first goal. Didn't seem to dissuade the Detroit Red Wings. The Wings press with 7 minutes left. The shots are 12-3 for the Devils with 5.5 minutes left. We then get a power play for Detroit. That's killed off. 2 shots on net, but then we get back-to-back goals quickly here. First, it's Fisher from Kopp at 18 minutes and 9 seconds. And then DeBrincat wires one on a fast break at 18:34. So suddenly, it's 2-1 for Detroit. And then there's too many Devils on the ice to close out the period, which Coach Lalonde made sure that he talked to the referee about at the end of the period. So that means the Wings have the first 2 minutes of the second period with the power play, already up 2-1. There's a post for Dillon on a shorthanded 2-on-1, so Brendan Dillon almost gets a shorthanded goal there. Power play's killed off, pretty good penalty kill by the Devils there. We then get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. Howla tips one in from the side of the net. Meyer and Luke Hughes with the assist at 4:59. So there's Timo Meyer on the board. Yep, he was fine. Devils then press for the lead. We get a power play for New Jersey. Things get pushy on a hold by Talbot. That power play's killed off. Shots are 8-3 for the Devils at 8.5 minutes. The fans call one. The referee does not. Bratt fires one wide on a rush. The Wings just having trouble getting to the net. It's very reminiscent of their last game against the Islanders, but the results are there. So I guess for Detroit, don't take shots. Don't get to the net. Don't play offense. Just things will happen for you. It's a strange strategy, but it's working. Devils press with 5.5 minutes left. We had some late momentum for the Devils. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period, early press by the Devils. Nason has a near miss and close, and the shots are 3-0 in favor of the visitors 4.5 minutes in. The Wings press at 5 minutes. We then had a fight between Dillon and Fisher. So the Wings come out of that with a power play, and they score on it. Larkin at 9:46 from Kane and Raymond. Larkin with a beautiful deflection, top corner. No chance for Markstrom there. Kovacevic has a fight with Sherratt as the boxes are filling up at this point. Devils go to the power play after that, and they score on theirs. Hischier from Jack Hughes and Hamilton, 11:41. The Wings then get a power play. They score on theirs as well. Kane puts them in the lead again. He roofs one from the slot. Raymond and DeBrincat with the assists at 16:48. 2:37 left. The Devils get a power play, and that's killed off. And then at 19:48, Rasmussen with the empty net goal from Edvinsson, and as he's scoring the goal, he flattens Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes got up, but you could see Rasmussen, I got kind of a kick out of it, like Rasmussen's looking at him like, what are you going to do? So your final score in this one's 5-3 for Detroit. They go to 4-3 on the season. They're above 500. And New Jersey 5-4-1 with the loss. So shots on net favored New Jersey the entire way. This has got to be the frustrating part if you're Sheldon Keefe. They outshot the Wings 15-8 in the first, 14-6 in the second, 11-6 in the third. Final shots are 40-20 in favor of the Devils. Power plays, New Jersey 3 for 5, Detroit 2 for 4. So the penalty kills were nope. The hits 37-24 for New Jersey. Markstrom 15 saves on 19 shots. It's an ugly stat line for Markstrom. I don't know which of those he was supposed to stop. Talbot 37 saves on 40 shots and a strong bounce back for Talbot. He's had a couple of rough games, but he's been really good at times too. So tonight he was on the good side of things. All right, next up, Minnesota and Tampa. So Minnesota's having themselves a time in Florida. Fleury versus Vasilevsky in this one. Early press by Tampa. Hedman has a screenshot that saved. The shots are 3-0 Tampa, 4.5 minutes in. The Wild weren't really getting much of anything, and then they score. And the question was whether or not it was offside. So my wife was in the room at the time. We're watching, and I said, that's onside. He has the puck. He's touching it. It goes across. That's onside. And sure enough, it counts. So the Wild come out of that with a power play. It was a goal by Kaprizov from Rossi and Brodin at 6:23. Now, Tampa Bay does kill that off. They allow one shot, but Minnesota's still up 1-0. Wild press with 6 minutes left. The Bolts are doing a good job of blocking the net at this point. The Wild press with 1.5 minutes left. Rossi fires one wide on a rush, and then Tampa Bay presses to close out the period. So it's 1-0 Minnesota after the first. Second period, shots are 3-1 for the Wild, 5.5 minutes in. Asimont tips one wide on a rush. We get a power play for Tampa. That becomes a 4-on-4, and then it's a Wild power play. Johansson's denied on a rush. And then it's a shorthanded goal. Hagel, I accidentally put power play goal. It's a shorthanded goal. Hagel at 8:56 from Cirelli and Chernak, and then Tampa Bay finishes the kill there. He goes 5-hole from the slot on a rush. The shots are 5-3 for the Wild at the half. Asimont's denied on a wrister, and then at 11:31, Kucherov buries one pretty soon after that other one. Paul and Perbix with the assists. So all of a sudden, Tampa Bay has a lead, and I thought, all right, Minnesota's had a pretty good run. They haven't had a loss in regulation, but if you lose to Tampa, there's no shame in that. And then they didn't. The Bolts press for another. There's a power play for Minnesota. That's killed off. Tampa Bay's building momentum at this point, and they're starting to look like, Tampa Bay. Bogosian has a screenshot that's held, and then from the doorstep, Eriksson Ek ties the game. Bogosian and Boldy with the assists at 18:22, and then the Wild look for the lead. So some big momentum swings in that period, and it's 2-2 coming out of that second period. Third period, early press by the Wild. Minnesota ends up drawing a power play, and they score on it. At 54 seconds, so very early in said power play, Boldy scores from Zuccarello and Kaprizov. He wires that one from the right circle. Shots are 2-0 Wild at 5.5 minutes. The Bolts press, but they're not getting a path to the net. Minnesota did the same thing to Tampa Bay tonight. They did to Florida the other night. Just gave them nothing to shoot at. No path to the net. Fantastic coaching in Minnesota right now. Mosier fires one high from in close. The Bolts press with 4 minutes left. They would end up pulling the goalie with 1:45 left. And Kaprizov hits the empty net for his second goal of the game. Lauko and Middleton with the assists at 19:26. So your final score in this one's 4-2. Minnesota goes to 5-0-2 on the season. Tampa Bay drops to 4-3. Shots on net, 12-5 Tampa Bay in the first, 9-8 Tampa Bay in the second, 5-4 Minnesota in the third. Final shots 25-18 for Tampa. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 4. Tampa Bay did not score on the only power play they had. The hits were 29-14 for Minnesota. Fleury saves 23-25. He had a very strong game. Vasilevsky, not very Vasilevsky-like numbers continue. 14 saves on 17 shots. Definitely something to keep an eye on. All right, and the last one on this board, Florida and the Rangers. What a game for Florida. So it's Bobrovsky versus Shesterkin, and it takes 44 seconds for Lindell to score on the first shot for Florida in this one. He roofs one on a net feed. Reinhart and Luostarinen with the assists. So great assist for Reinhart. He gets another point, and Lindell continues to put up points in the absence of Sasha Barkov. Panthers press for another. Verhaeghe's denied on a 3-on-1, and then he scores. He wires one from the left circle at 2:42. Verhaeghe scores from Forsling, and this one looked like it could get ugly. But the Rangers would answer. At 4:44, FLA-NYR on their first shot on what was a delayed penalty for Florida, LaFreniere scores from Fox, so that makes it 2-1 in favor of the Florida Panthers. Heedle's denied on a rush. The shots are 6-5 Rangers halfway through the period. Panthers press with 6.5 minutes left. We then get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. Forsling to Tkachuk, there's a near miss there, but it's 2-1 Florida after the first. Second period. Rodriguez fires one high from the slot. The Panthers press at 2 minutes. The shots are 2-0 for Florida, 3 minutes into the period. Heedle's denied on a rush, and then at 6:59, Bennett tips in a point shot. Mikkola, the former Ranger, he has the assist on that, as well as Kulikov. So Bennett, with his 6th of the season, makes it 3-1 for Florida. Verhaeghe's then denied and close as he's looking for another. We get a power play for the Rangers. There's a shorthanded chance for Luostarinen where he's denied. So Shesterkin does end up having a decent enough game, but they did get 2 goals in the first 3 minutes on him. Panthers do finish the kill. The Florida Panthers then press. They're kept to the outside by the Rangers. Panthers get a power play. That's killed off. The Panthers press with 2.5 minutes left. They're up 3-1 after the second period. Third period, there's an early power play by the Rangers, but man, what an aggressive penalty kill by Florida. Did not give the Rangers much to look at out there. Net feed to Kreider gets blocked. We then get a power play for Florida. Tkachuk's denied very early in it. Verhaeghe is then robbed late in it. So Shesterkin's keeping this close. That power play is killed off. Shots are 7-1 Florida, 6.5 minutes in. So Florida not letting this one get away tonight. Jesper Boquist misses one high on a turnover chance. Pretty strong forechecking by Florida in that third period as well. 3:03 left. The Rangers get a power play, which becomes 6-on-4. That power play is killed off, and just fantastic defense gets Bobrovsky his 400th career win. So Florida wins 3-1. They go to 5-3-1 on the season. The Rangers lose their first in regulation. They are now 5-1-1. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first. 9-5 Florida in the second, 10 apiece in the third. Final shots 29-25 for Florida. I thought they controlled more than what the shots tell you. Power plays Florida 0-2. The Rangers 0-4. The hits 32-29 Florida. Bobrovsky saves 24 out of 25. And Shesterkin saves 26 out of 29. Now, I need to change boards. And if the board seems higher than normal, good eye. All right, so on to Carolina and the Calgary Flames. Kochetkov versus Vladar. Kadri has a slot shot that's held. The shots are 3-0 Calgary, 4 minutes in. So slow start for Carolina. Canes, though, they get the next 5 shots. So they recover from that slow start pretty quickly. Slavin to Carrier, near miss. The Flames press with 9 minutes left, but we get a power play for Carolina, and they score on it. Jarvis goes short side from the left circle. Aho and Natchez with the assists at 12:29. So 1-0 Carolina. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. That becomes a 4-on-3 power play for Carolina. Everything gets killed off there. The Flames rush after they're done killing it. Backlund's denied from the slot. It's 1-0 Carolina after the first. Second period, at 39 seconds, Roslovic buries a rebound after they'd won the faceoff in the Calgary end. Burns and Svechnikov with the assists on that one. It's 2-0 Carolina. Flames have a 3-on-2. That's defended. And then at 1:59, during a press by Carolina again, Natchez gets one pass to screen. Gostisbehere and Kokaniemi with the assists. It's 3-0 Carolina. And this one looks like it could be a laugher because the shots are 9-0 Carolina, 3.5 minutes in. So that's absolutely insane. I felt bad for Vladar. The Canes press at 4 minutes. Carrier has a slot shot. That's held. Kadri to Kuzmenko. Doesn't happen because Kochetkov gets in between and grabs the puck and holds onto it. Flames press at 9 minutes. The Canes goal light comes on. Puck's not in, though. Not sure what happened there. There's a near miss for Pospisil. Some momentum for the Flames, and they would score. On a face-off win, Bean puts one past a screen. Zeri and Backlund with the assists at 13:01. Calgary's on the board. It's 3-1. Canes look to respond. There's a press by Carolina with 4 minutes left. With 1:41 left, the Canes go to the power play. Gostisbehere hits the post. The Flames survive to the end of that period. And to start the third period down 3-1, they do finish the kill. Canes press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. Shots are only 2 apiece at 6 minutes. The shots would increase those as the period went along. The Flames press 7 minutes into the period. Coleman flattens Jarvis, which made the crowd happy. They liked seeing that. Kochetkov gets shaken up, but he stays in. Vladar got shaken up during that period as well and stayed in the net. I would not be surprised to get news tomorrow that Vladar's dealing with an injury and maybe, day to day out for a little bit. So that's killed off that power play that the Flames had. Flames are getting chances, though, and at 13:05, they convert one of them. Huberdeau scores from Kirkland and Anderson. So Justin Kirkland with another point. Then we have a post for Roslovic. Vladar holds the rebound before it can go anywhere dangerous. The goalie pull happens with a minute and a half left, and Robinson hits the empty net from Kochetkov, who headmanned the pass up, and at 18:41 makes the score 4-2, which would be the final score in favor of Carolina, who are now 4-2. The Flames drop to 5-1-1 with their first regulation loss of the season. Shots on net, 14-7 Carolina in the first, 18-14 Carolina in the second, 11 apiece in the third. Final shots, 43-32 for Carolina. Power plays, the Canes 1 for 3, Calgary 0 for 2. The hits, 31-17 Calgary. Kochetkov, 30 saves on 32 shots. Vladar, 39 saves on 42 shots. He had a very good night, but the Canes were just that much better. All right, next up, the Avs in Utah. So you'll notice that that's a different Utah magnet. I have a lot of Utah magnets now. None that are actually NHL related, but I have a bunch. All right, so Annunen versus Vejmelka. Is Annunen the starter now in Colorado? It feels like he is. Good early back and forth in this one. Hayden has a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Utah. Sergachev has a wrist shot that's held. That power play is killed off. The Avs press at 7 minutes. The shots are 4-3 for Colorado, 7.5 minutes in. The Avs draw a power play. That becomes 5-on-3. McKinnon's denied. There's a shorthanded rush by Schmaltz. And then, during the 5-on-4, Colton scores on a rush from Ranton and a Mittelstadt at 9:44. Colton did not finish this game either, so we'll probably get an update tomorrow on his status and how long he might be out. Members of the Avalanche get hurt a lot. For whatever reason, that does happen. The Avs press with 8 minutes left. Utah presses with 6.5 minutes left, but at 18:20, Makar. He goes through Vejmelka on a rush. He scores unassisted to make it 2-0 in favor of the Colorado Avalanche after 2. Second period, there's an early power play for Utah. O'Connor nearly adds a shorthanded goal. The Avs do kill that off, and then Doan's denied right after. Shots are 2-1 for the Utah Hockey Club at 4 minutes. Krause fires one wide on a rush. McKinnon's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. The Avs then draw a power play. That's killed off. The fans call one, the referee does not, and then to make the fans even happier, at 14:25, Mittelstadt scores for Colorado. Malinsky and DeHaan with the assists. Utah presses to respond, but at 3:52, the Avs get a power play, and Ivan scores on the power play at 17:33 to give Colorado a 4-0 lead. Then the Avs press for another, but with 1:43 left, Utah goes to the power play. So that ends out the second period, 4-0 after 2 for Colorado. The Avs finish the kill early in the third. Utah presses at 3.5 minutes. The shots are 5-1 for Utah 5 minutes in. I don't know how many of them are dangerous, though. Like, they were just basically throwing anything at Annunen, seeing what would stick and trying to get rebounds. So press by Utah at 8 minutes, but the Avs are blocking the net pretty well. There's a press by the Avs with 5 minutes left, and then, on a fast break, Krause breaks the goose egg. He scores from Michelli at 15:28 on a backhand. The Avs do answer, though. Kiviranta scores at 16:07. That prevents a goalie pull and means your final score is 5-1. The Avs have dug their way out of the mess they made. They are now 4-4 on the season. For Utah, they're 4-3-1. So the Avs are trending up. Utah's trending down. Shots on net, 12-5 Colorado in the first, 10 apiece in the second, 11-4 Utah in the third. Final shots are 26-26. Power plays, Colorado 2 for 4, Utah 0 for 3. The hits, 27-15 for Colorado. Annunen saves 25 out of 26. Vejmelka, rough night statistically, 21 saves on 26 shots. All right, moving along to Winnipeg and Seattle. This was maybe the most exciting game of the night. You guys can let me know your thoughts. I think this was probably the most exciting game. Definitely the most exciting finish. So it's Hellebuck versus DeCord. Early press by Winnipeg. Pretty aggressive forechecking by the Kraken in this one. DeMello fires one wide on a rush. Evans has a net drive. That's defended. The Jets press at 5 minutes. The shots are 4-3 Winnipeg, 6.5 minutes in. Eberle gets denied on a 3-on-2 rush. Pretty strong forechecking by the fourth line for the Jets. And it feels like that's been a story this year, that fourth lines for teams have become way more aggressive without taking penalties. And it just feels like that's a storyline that I didn't anticipate. The fourth lines would be important to numerous teams early in the season. But At 11:27, it's Beniers that opens the scoring for Seattle. So Winnipeg does all that work, and Seattle has the lead. Kraken then draw a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 11-4 for Seattle with 5 minutes left. So Winnipeg has that good start, and then it just stops. And now Seattle's in charge. Montour fires one wide on a rush. It's 1-0 Seattle after the first. Second period. Beniers has a net feed. That gets picked off. The shots are 6-0 Jets at 4 minutes. So again, they have a strong start. And as I'm writing that on the board, Niederreiter, it goes in off his skate. It's a good goal. Niederreiter scores from Appleton and Lowry at 3:56. So just as I'm writing up there about the 4 minutes, you get a goal. So the Kraken look to respond. Like when I write at this certain minutes, it doesn't mean exactly at that second. A lot of the time it's 10 seconds. I can write that up there. Yeah, whatever. Kraken look to respond. The teams trade turnovers. The Kraken score, but there's a goalie interference challenge, and right away you could tell that goal was coming off the board, and it did. Pressed by Seattle at 9 minutes. Barron has a net drive that's defended. The shots are 11-8 for the Winnipeg Jets with 8.5 minutes left. Kraken had some momentum in the second half, but Velarde puts one around Decord for his first of the season. Scheifele and Connor with the assists at 15:05. The all-important 3-1 lead goal here. Power play for Seattle. That's killed off. Not even a shot on net. Perfetti's then denied on a late rush. It is a 2-1 lead. Sorry, 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. I get ahead of myself because the third goal's right there. Jets get a power play in the third period. Scheifele fans on an opportunity. That ends up being killed off. That's the only power play the Jets had in the game. And then at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Niederreiter, with his second of the game, this time he buries it. He actually puts it in off his stick. Perfetti and Pionk with the assists. And so that's just after the power play comes to an end. The shots are 5-1 Winnipeg at 9 minutes. But again, the momentum would switch. On a rush, Eberle buries one from the slot. McCann and Beniers with the assists at 11:01. Perfetti then has a rush chance. That's held. Kraken press with 5 minutes left. But eventually, they just have too many chances, and one's going to go in. So at 16:37, Beniers tips one in. Montour and McCann with the assists. It's 3-3. We're going to overtime. The overtime, the Kraken controlled early. They had a shot that was saved by Hellebuck. Jets take over. Ehlers fires one wide. There's a near miss by Connor. And then the Jets are about to get a power play. So it's a delayed penalty. They didn't need to worry about getting that power play because Ehlers scores during the delayed call. Connor and Scheifele with the assists at 1:26. So the Jets win this one early in overtime, 4-3. They go to 7-0. They have not lost a game yet out of their first 7. And Seattle 4-3-1 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 12-7 Seattle in the first, 15-10 Winnipeg in the second, 13-9 Winnipeg in the third. Both teams had one shot in the overtime. Winnipeg the shot that matters. Final shots 36-32 for Winnipeg. Power plays, the Jets 0-1, Seattle 0-2. The hits 34-31 for Seattle. Hellebuck saves 29 out of 32. Decord saves 32 out of 36. All right, and last game of the night, the San Jose Sharks and the LA Kings. The Kings need to figure out what they did right in the first period and how to prevent seconds and thirds like what we had tonight. Because, man, so it's Blackwood versus Riddick. Byfield's denied on a rush. The teams exchange rushes after that. There's a near miss for Byfield as the Kings press. And then at 4:31, on a rush, wired from the right circle, it's Spence. Beautiful goal by Jordan Spence. Moore and Deneau with the assist there. Shots are 5-0 Kings at 5 minutes. Zetterlund's denied and close. And then Fogle buries a loose puck to make it 2-0 for the Kings at 8:47. Laferriere with the assists. Laferriere still producing. Sharks press with 9.5 minutes left, but at 11:36, Fogle deflects one in to make it 3-0. Clark, and there's Laferriere again with another helper. So it's 3-0 Kings. This is going to be a laugher. No, it's not. Kings press for another. There's a power play for San Jose. That's killed off. 36.3 seconds left. The Sharks get another, but it's 3-0 LA after one. Second period. We have 31 seconds of 4-on-4. Then the Kings get a power play. Well, everything gets killed off there. There's no shots on net to report. Things are pushed in a hole by Blackwood. Byfield to Kopitar. There's a near miss there. Turcotte with a near miss at 5 minutes. And these near misses, they could come back to haunt you. Sharks go back to the power play, and they score on it. It's Granlund. Far corner from the left circle. Thompson and Wenberg with the assists at 10:05. Jack Thompson's putting up points for the San Jose Sharks. So, good find on the blue line there. The Kings draw a power play. That's killed off. The Kings press after it's done. We end up with 2 minutes of 4-on-4. There's two California teams. You know they're not going to like each other. Sharks press with 2 minutes left. With 55.4 seconds left, the Sharks get their fourth power play of the game. And so that's rolling over into the third period with the score now 3-1 for the Kings. So the Kings do finish the kill, but the shots are 2-0 for San Jose 3 minutes in. Jeannot's denied on a rush. The Sharks press at 8 minutes. Danault's then denied on a rebound opportunity at the Sharks net. Shots are 6 apiece with 7.5 minutes left. Then we had a power play for San Jose. There's a shorthanded post for Foegele, and the next shorthanded opportunity he had was held. So Fogel's doing everything he can to get another goal. He had 2 in the first period, so he wants that hat trick. So the Kings kill that off, and the Kings had better chances than San Jose did during their own power play. The goalie pull happens with 2:35 left. With 1:05 left, it becomes 6-on-4 for San Jose, and they score. Granlund puts one past the screen for his second goal of the game. Thompson and Wenberg again combine on the assist. That's at 19 minutes. And then the Kings just barely hold on. Like, I was pretty sure San Jose was going to score in the last minute. We're going to go to overtime. It is a 7:30 start, so I usually anticipate that. But, yeah, if you had another 5 minutes to this game, I think San Jose ties it. And then who knows? So LA, they hold on. They win their home opener. They go to 4-2-2 on the season. San Jose now 0-6-2. They have to start better. San Jose, again, I think is better than they were last year. They don't have a win to show for it. Shots on net, 17-7 LA in the first, 7 apiece in the second, 12-6 San Jose in the third. Final shots are 30-26 for the Kings. Power plays, San Jose 2 for 6, LA 0 for 2. So only 2 penalties against San Jose tonight, at least only 2 power plays against San Jose tonight. That's way better than it's been lately. Hits 39-24 San Jose. Blackwood saves 27 out of 30. Riddick, good start for him. 24 saves on 26 shots. And they did play a good 1-2-2 in that third period. It felt like the Kings were starting to get their game back there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.